This is Dr. Randolph Shipon from Inner Wealth LLC, where I'm the clinical director and owner, and also Skip the Shrink LLC, where I'm the CEO. Thank you for joining me today. I have something really special to show you, one of the most powerful tools I have ever come across for the relief of anything that is bugging you. I know that sounds like a really, really big claim, and it is. It works particularly well for things that make you angry, for things that are irritating, but it also works for things that are physically problematic. Chronic pain I've used it for, and I guess you may not know this, but I have a chronic pain condition, so I take this very seriously. It's really fantastic. It's called the Emotional Freedom Technique, but I've modified it because I wanted to add something out of my research to it. So I call my technique gratitude tapping, GT. Now there's a growing body of research that shows that acupoint tapping, which is the wider umbrella under which the Emotional Freedom Technique, or EFT, falls, is quite effective, even rapidly effective for relieving the effects of trauma. So there are studies that are showing that people who should be in therapy for 10, 20, or 30 years for trauma and who have not been able to resolve it, they have 2 or 3 sessions of tapping and they're no longer coming up clinical for their traumatic experiences on inventories that are looking at post-traumatic stress disorder. That is astonishing. And the reason why is because the somatic therapies, and the somatic therapies involve these acupoint tapping techniques, also eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which is EMDR by Francine Shapiro, also Peter Levine's somatic experiencing. Therapies like this access a different part of the brain than cognitive behavioral therapy or the talk therapies, psychodynamic, existential, what have you. All of those therapies mainly are working in the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain that evolved in us to a higher degree than all other animals, to our knowledge. And the part of our brains that enables us to do all these amazing things, our communications, our creativity, our problem solving, our building stuff, all of these things, language, all of these things are occurring in the prefrontal cortex. Trauma appears to affect us at a much deeper level, at the level of the limbic system and the basal ganglia, right above the brainstem. And so these techniques, which are premised in Chinese medicine, actually, well, at least for this technique, it has its foundations in Chinese medicine, and combined with cognitive behavioral therapy and exposure techniques. This technique is very effective for relieving the effects of even long-term emotional distress. So I'm really excited to show it to you. The person who developed this particular technique, his name is Gary Craig, and it is a gift to all of us, and everybody should know how to do this. What Gary Craig, who is an engineer, discovered was that when we have an emotional problem, it's almost like getting a short circuit in our electrical system, and we have nervous systems that are electrochemical systems. And so when he conceived of it as a short circuit, he thought, well, what if I could just remove the short circuit? Wouldn't that give you the freedom to think of a problem without having the emotional reaction to the problem? And so he was familiar with acupuncture and acupoints, particularly the ones around the face. And the Chinese have known for about 5,000 years that these points are associated with emotional well-being. And so Gary Craig conceived of a system that would allow the tapping of these points to break the emotional pattern that is tied to a thought. And so he called his technique the emotional freedom technique. I'm going to show you how it works, and there are a few steps that are really important. The most important step is to think of the thing that is bothering you and to give it a number from 0 to 10, 10 being the worst. Okay? So this is called taking your measurement of subjective units of distress. So in my case, I'll think of something that's bothering me. Let's see. Oh, this is hard because not a lot of things are really bugging me now. But all right, I've got one. Something that's bothering me is I really wish that I could get out this information that I'm giving to you now faster than I'm getting it out. It really bugs me. It bugged me this morning. It's one of the reasons why I'm making this video today. So, and the feeling, the bugging that I'm feeling, I'm going to define it as maybe stress. Okay, that's not irritation. That's a better word for it. Yeah, I'm irritated that I'm not able to get these videos out to you faster. Okay, are you ready? I'll show you how I do this. So on a scale from 0 to 10, I would rate my irritation at an 8. How's that? Now I'm going to think of a phrase that represents this thing to me, and so in EFT, in Emotional Freedom Technique, Gary Craig recommends giving it either a headline or a movie title. And so my headline is going to be that I feel irritation that I'm not able to get out my materials faster to you. And then that's definitely an 8 out of 10 for me. I'm going to show you my technique so that you're not confusing it with Gary Craig's technique. If you want to see Gary Craig's technique, EFT, it is all over the internet. You can Google EFT. I recommend to you the videos of Gary Craig himself teaching it, but there are a bunch of other people who are competent at teaching this. But if you can find Gary Craig, that's really great. Find the one where he's, it's a 45-minute video where he's helping somebody with a lifelong fear of water get into a swimming pool. Gary Craig EFT swimming pool. I think those search terms will turn it up on YouTube. It is fantastic. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you gratitude tapping. So my problem is I am deeply irritated that I cannot get out these videos to you fast enough. That's my headline. Wolf Shipon, deeply irritated, can't get videos out to you fast enough. It's an 8 out of 10. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on this point here. This is the karate chop point of your hand. I'm tapping it with 4 fingers, and I'm tapping it hard enough that I can feel it without hurting myself. Okay? And while I'm tapping it, I'm going to say, and this is the script now, and it's in the book, even though I am deeply irritated by not being able to get the materials out to you fast enough, I am deeply grateful for this time that I have now to make this video. You see what I'm doing there? I'm pairing the problem with a gratitude state. Even though I am deeply irritated that I'm not able to get these videos out to you fast enough, I am grateful for the time that I have right now to make this video for you. And one more time, do this 3 times. Even though I am deeply irritated that I am not able to get these videos out to you fast enough, I am deeply grateful that I have the time to make this for you now. And as I'm saying that, I'm really feeling the gratitude in my heart. The gratitude that allows me, that lets me know that this is a good thing that I'm making this video for you. Okay, I'm going to take you through my version of the tapping. So, the first point is the side of the eyebrow, right here. Doesn't matter which side, tap it with your fingers, and then I like to rub my fingers in a circle. So I tap it first, and then I rub my fingers in a circle. And say the thing that is bothering you. So tap, rub. Not able to get these videos out to you fast enough. Side of the eye. Tap and rub and say something that you're grateful for. And it should be related to that. I'm grateful for the technology to be able to get these videos out to you. Under the eye, right on the bone here, right beneath the pupil, this bone. Tapping and rubbing. Deeply irritated that I'm not able to get these videos out to you. Under the nose is the next point. Tapping and then rubbing. Deeply grateful that I took the day off to do this. Okay. Under the lip. Irritated that I cannot get these videos out to you. And rubbing. Now, collarbone. Right on the bone, right here. Tapping and rubbing. Grateful that I have an office where I can make this video for you. Under the arm. Tapping and rubbing. Irritated I can't get these videos out to you fast enough. Side of the nail bed of the thumb. Do you see this here? I'm going here on the side of the nail bed, tapping and rubbing. Grateful that I took some time this afternoon to make this video. First finger, side of the nail bed, tapping and rubbing. Irritated that I can't get these videos out to you fast enough. Tapping and rubbing. This finger. Deeply grateful that I'm in from the rain and able to make these videos for you. Pinky, tapping on the side of the nail bed. Irritated I cannot make these videos fast enough for you. Rubbing. And four fingers, karate chop point again, tapping. Deeply grateful that I'm almost at the end of a video that I just made for you. Alright, take a deep breath. Let it out. And another deep breath. And let it out. And now tune in to where that number is, that irritation. And the number should be lower. My irritation has dropped down to a 1. I think it's almost gone. I think it's gone. I actually notice a feeling, but it's not irritation anymore, it's excitement. It's a feeling of excitement that I'm almost done with this video that I hope will be of use to you. Alright, so I just gave you an example of how I did it. Now I'm going to lead you through it. I'd like you to think of something that you are really disturbed by. It could be a physical pain in your body, it could be a set of circumstances, it could be something somebody said. And I'm going to take you through a generic script for it. The first thing that I want you to do is think about what that situation is and think of a very short way of representing it to yourself. Just a few words. For example, if it's something somebody said to you at work, even though I'm angry at something that person said. Okay? Think about it for a second. Do you have it? Okay. Well, the next thing to do is now to think about the feeling that you're generating. And even though your statement is going to be, even though, fill in the blank, I deeply and completely accept myself. But before you do that, actually, I want to change that. Even though blank, I am deeply grateful that, and you have to fill in something that you're grateful for. Can you think of that? If not, stop the video and take some time to think about it. Sometimes if you're really irritated about something, it's hard to think of the thing in the situation that you're grateful for. But give it a shot. Once you have it, start the video again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead you through it. First, get that number, 0 to 10. How irritated or how bad do you feel about that thing that you're thinking about? Get that number. Remember what it was. Really associate into that memory of whatever it is. Get that number. Remember what it was. Alright, you got it? Let's go ahead. Alright? I'm going to use very generic language because I don't know what you're thinking. And I don't know what you're grateful for. So I'm just going to say the language as I lead you through the positions. You ready? Okay, first thing, karate chop point, 4 fingers. Even though I get, fill in the blank, when I think about, fill in the blank, I'm grateful that, fill in the blank. Alright, I'm not going to say fill in the blank every time anymore. Now it's for you. Okay, you do it. Even though I feel, when I think about, I'm grateful that, even though I feel, when I think about, I'm grateful that, one more time, even though I feel, when I think about, I'm grateful that, okay, good. Now, take your hand. I feel, when I think about, good, side of the eye on the bone. I'm grateful that, under the eye. I feel, when I think about, tap and remember to rub. I'm grateful that, I feel, when I think about, remember to rub. I'm grateful that, I feel, when I think about, I'm grateful that. You can rub this way or you can rub this way. See what I'm doing? 2 fingers rubbing. I feel, when I think about, first finger. Second finger. I'm grateful that, and rub. I feel, when I think about, rub. I'm grateful that. Stop, take a deep breath, let it out, and another deep breath, and let it out. Now find that number. Close your eyes, find that number. How much is that thing bothering you that was bothering you before? Did it drop down? It should have. If it didn't, there may be a different aspect of the problem that you need to address. Okay? So go back, think about it again, think about if there's another part that's upsetting you about it, and go through this process again. Get your SUDS level 0 to 10 on that new aspect of the problem. Tap this part. Even though I feel, when I think about, I'm grateful that. And then go through the process. Remember to tap, then rub. And why? Well, I'm not entirely convinced that the acupoints need to be stimulated by tapping. I think rubbing would suffice. But I know that the rubbing and the tapping are both doing what's done in Chinese medicine, which is stimulating the nerves in the area. Okay? So I like rubbing. It's a little more gentle. But tapping is what I know the research is showing to be effective. So please try both. See what works for you. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I am grateful that you watched and that you hung with me for this amount of time. And I look forward to hearing from you about how these techniques are working for you. Thanks again. Take care now. Bye-bye.